If we want to understand people's behavior, we need to understand how they somehow behave within cultural norms and how they respond to cultural shifts. To us, our clients are what gets us out of our beds. So Philips is all about helping the 500 million people they touch with their products every single day.
Hello and welcome to the Winners' Words podcast, where we unearth what it takes to succeed at the Market Research Awards from the winners themselves. I'm your host, Lewis Reeves, CEO and founder of Walr. And today, our guest is from the 2023 Business Impact of the Year global winner, Human8, and here to represent them is Christophe Vergult. Christophe, welcome and thank you so much for joining us on the podcast.
Hi, Lewis. You're welcome.
In order to get us started, Christophe, we'd love to learn more about yourself. Could you give us a quick background on yourself, your role at Human8, and a little bit around what Human8 does?
So I started in 1999 at what was back then Insights Consulting, today Human8. So that has been a while, so 25 years of market research, where I started at the very start of back then Insights Consulting through startup mode, while today we have grown until a group of almost 700 people across the globe in 27 different offices. But there was somehow red lines in my different roles within the company. Always been very much kind of intrigued by working for global brands and a global reality, but also being very close to clients and client business. And it leads me today in my current role as global client partner, where I work with a small set of our biggest clients, where I aim to truly bring in customer-centered thinking at these companies and help them setting up bigger research programs.
Incredibly interesting and what a career. And tell us about what Human8 does for these big clients.
So with Human8, we want to connect brands with people and culture to drive positive growth. And there are a couple of ingredients that are really important to myself, but also even to the Philips case that we have submitted then for the MRS Awards. One is we believe in the power of research communities. It's a great enabler to truly connect a company with its core audiences and people. It's not just about people, it's also about the culture side. If we want to understand people's behavior, we need to understand how they somehow behave within cultural norms and how they respond to cultural shifts. So the human and the culture side go hand in hand. Well, also we need to acknowledge that we're not just in the business of generating data or coming up with great insight. It only matters when we know how to drive impact to our clients' business. So activation is a very important pillar in our proposition as Human8.
Fantastic. And Christophe, I think that impact in market research is so incredibly important. If we're not having an impact in the lives of the people we're doing work for, then what are we doing? And it's incredibly interesting to hear you start talking there about some of the impact that you've had on Philips, which, as you say, is the customer who your submission was successful for the 2023 MRS Awards. But you touched on there that the impact was more than just commercial. You spoke about social and community elements. Maybe you can explain a little bit more about the particular piece of work you did and some of the impact in those non-commercial areas that you had.
So Philips is all about helping the 500 million people they touch with their products every single day improve the quality of their lives. So we have worked on numbers of products across the last couple of years, helping them to innovate in new products, new solutions that are most meaningful to these plus 500 million people. Just to name a couple, one is called Pregnancy Plus. It's an app that is the most downloaded pregnancy support app worldwide, with plus 60 million downloads. The whole idea is that they want to somehow remove barriers for pregnant women to get access to decent healthcare. Another one has to do with oral care in kids. I have two boys, 9 and 11, and it's a daily struggle to get their teeth brushed decently. So with the Sonicare app, Philips wants to make that brushing much more kind of fun and engaging, making sure that kids really love brushing their teeth and brush them longer and better.
So Christophe, winning awards at Human8, talk to me about that. Clearly you guys were keen to, that's why you put forward your submission. But what's behind it from Human8? What's the impact that it has on your business and why are you putting yourselves forward for these awards?
To start with, it's just fun to be on stage as a winner together with your client. So winning together helps to bond, helps to create a moment of feeling that together you make great things happen. So to us, our clients are what gets us out of our beds. So it definitely helped to further connect with the client, and it only helped us to further foster great client relationships. Even more importantly is, of course, the impact on our clients' business. Because, of course, also at Philips, the Insight team is on an ongoing kind of quest to make sure that the vision they have, the ambition they have somehow land well within the business. External recognition is extremely helpful also for them to show and tell that what they're doing, the programs they set up are really unique and are seen as extremely powerful also by even competitors. So the whole submission that we had for this business impact award was all about continuous learning. Before, Philips had more kind of traditional innovation research practice built around some key hard gates where validation research helped them to somehow check whether they were good to go forward or not. We installed a different kind of practice where we moved away from validation, but more installed ways for consumer inspiration, consumer understanding, consumer connection, creating much more opportunities for people within the business to learn. But obviously, that somehow comes with some change management, because people at the business need to somehow be open to spend their time in working together with consumers in these numerous kind of feedback loops. So they need to also engage actively together with their Insight team, with the agency, and working with these consumers.
Incredible. So it sounds like it's really not only strengthened your relationship, but the Insight function that you support, their relationship with the wider business. And what about particularly for the Human8 business? Do you find that winning awards makes it easier to attract new talent or open doors with new customers?
It definitely helped us opening up new type of conversation with our existing clients and how they could leverage and use their current communities in a more impactful way. So some see them as an extremely important kind of research capability to do research faster and cheaper, but not necessarily more differently. So now, also through this external recognition, we can have conversation with our clients where we help them to see that we can move away from, let's say, doing bigger studies, one-off studies on our community, but go more in smaller kind of iterative loops, but also help to embed this way of working deeply within the business. So somehow it helps us to further inspire our customers and do more and more kind of impactful things with the communities they already have.
It's so clear how much impact you're having in your customers' business, and how you're also driving their success forward by making them a lot more efficient with the use of their research and the impact that has within their organization. And Christophe, in order to close off, I'm going to change gears ever so slightly. You have a lot of experience, a lot of success in this industry, and I would love to understand a few of your thoughts around advice you would look to give someone that is just new into our industry, and some of the things that would set them up for a successful career in market research.
Well, my simple advice would be think big. You cannot imagine what kind of impact we as market researchers can have on businesses and companies, either on client side or agency side. So we're not just in delivering solid data. We're not just in providing strong insights. We start measuring when we know companies, or when we know how companies can really act upon the data and these great insights. So your personal development never ends. Whenever you have great skills, when it comes to collecting solid data, whenever you are really proficient in coming up with powerful insights, the fun only starts then. And then it's all about empathizing with the client business, making sure you blend in, you know how to think and think along with the most senior owners within the business to drive impact. So whenever you start your career within market research, you're off for a long path with a lot of growth opportunities.
Fantastic. Christophe, that aligns so much. I was at the MRS conference here in London, and we were talking a lot about a lot of the new tools and technologies, but how the role of incredible storytelling from researchers has such a massive role to play in impacting audiences. Christophe, real pleasure to talk. It's really clear to see how yourself and Human8 had such a big business impact with your work with Philips. And I'm sure there'll be many more awards coming your way in the not too distant future.
Thank you, Louis.